Hello, hello. We got another yorick game in the mix. Yeah, buddy. Alright, hold up. Alright, so right here we're doing aatrox versus yorick matchup. We got Diana jungle. Oh yeah, I was supposed to jungle, but I told this guy to get the fuck out of my row. So this is a foreshadowing of an autofill jungler versus this matchup, which I considered very hard in lane, but very easy in mid game if you're able to survive the matchup. That Diana flashes a fucking REQ right there. Okay. He's kind of dumb, but pretty much right here we start Enduring Shield. We have graphs. I think graphs is always a given. I think you want everything in graphs because if you go resolve secondary, usually you're a champion that requires demolish. Your champion requires demolish, but you still want conditioning and you still want overgrowth. You want the HP because you get a lot of HP and you get a lot of resistance. Mainly, and it spikes your mid game insanely well. The resistance is really good with Hullbreaker, and what I like to do is go more of a defensive style of Yorick. I think a lot of champions can abuse the fact low key against certain matchups like Tryndamere, against Aatrox, against Kled, against full 80 all in targets, Garen, Darius, the ability to rush armor boots into either Bramble's Vest or Warden's Mail. I prefer Warden's Mail on Yorick Pacifica. It's kind of like a Jax build where he rushes that both because Frozen Heart is really insane. It fixes a lot of your mana problems. The CDR is good to uptake your R, and mana or just the armor is really good and it's really cheap. CDR, it's such a good defensive item on Yorick. It's very underrated. I think going more of an offensive style Yorick is kind of troll in my opinion. It's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not always good because what you want is to be able to survive through laning phase, and this is pretty much me showing you how to survive. So I started and I'm playing for not to really contest any minions, and I'm trying to just eat the minions and play for EXP. He's gonna push in and I'm gonna be able to CS this. Also runes, my secondary runes, I believe I forgot to mention, I've experimented. This is 12.6, so most importantly, Bloodline has gotten nerfed, but maybe it is a buff on Yorick. But recently I've been trying to go Transcendence and Mana Flow Ban. I think the uptake on CDR really helps a lot because you scale really well with CDR. I think that's the main problems of like, I've always been an advocate of rushing Hullbreaker, but honestly, Hullbreaker is kind of not so good. I think it's important to have a lot of CDR because you're playing top lane and you're a split pusher who does not want to die. And if you don't have CDR and you die, it's very problematic. It's too much of an opening of getting shit on, quote unquote. And it's not like your champion can really run Ultimate Hunter or nothing like that. So I think it's better than going Presence of Mind and Bloodline as secondaries. And I think other, like, you can go Inspiration Tree secondary, but I think that's bad too. I think cookies are underpowered, and I think everything else from the tree is underpowered other than Cosmic Insight, but even then it's bad. You're a champion who wants to recall a lot for sure, but you're a champion also who wants to stay in lane and be able to scale in the game. It's kind of like a San type esque build. So yeah, so pretty much, yeah, this man tried to all in me. With no prevail, of course. He's running Ignite and I have TP, so I'm trying to abuse the advantage of running the TP. I'm shopping. I go triple cloth armor right here. When you have like 900 gold or something, Usually one triple, sometimes double cloth is fine with boots, sometimes boots cloth. It just depends, but I think in this situation right here, I'm going against aatrox and Diana, so I feel like, and like the boots is good at dodge, don't get me wrong, and it helps avoid ganks, but I just felt like I could never die if I go triple cloth. 45 armor is pretty significant early game, and it's not like he has that much healing early. It's only until you hit 6, but even then, if you're tanky enough, you just kite him out, and then you play around that, so it's fine. Like, I don't know, I think against some like aatrox, going Thornmill is kind of troll because it only procs when he autos, and he's not like, I mean, he's gonna auto you sometimes to proc his passive and stuff, but it's not guaranteed, and it gives no CDR. I think that's the worst part of the item. It just doesn't get no CDR and mana. The health is nice, but it's not optimal. I think against some champions like a Fiora, I think it's good. I think it's good against most what do you call that item? Divine Sunder abusers. They abuse that item pretty, like any like super ones like Camille, stuff like that. So I mean, this is like a lot of strategical play. That's just how you just play Yorick. So the reason why I'm summoning this R because I want it to push back. So I'm looking for the pushback. He's trying to, I don't know, he burns everything. So I miss my E. If I hit my E, I'll probably do some pretty damaging. But I'm just trying to look for the pushback. He's a champion that has like no wave clear. So like he really only can just fight me. But even then, like in this situation, he's kind of going too hard. And I believe what I'm looking for is like a small trade. Even though I don't win, I'm looking for the back into TP. So it doesn't really matter that it's not good for him to trade because I have TP, and I end up TPing back. I buy wardens, cloth. I still don't have boots, I believe, or I bought pots. Okay, so now the wave pushing towards me. He didn't even try to freeze it. So now I'm in a situation where, I mean, you can't. Pretty much, I mean, he has to back. He cannot stay. He cannot push this extra wave that I'm. So I have R. I'm just looking to push back towards him. I can't really freeze it because I do have R. It's one of those things where like this is why you guys situationally know how you want to play and when to use R. I mean, you would think you would always keep R up, or like not necessarily keep it up, but like use it off cooldown. But you just gotta know wave. You gotta know your ability to wave manage and wave manipulation with R, without R situations. And your champion's super unique in that sense, where like people don't actually know how to play against your champion. Your champion's rarely seen and has very, very unique mechanics when it comes to wave management and fighting. Yorick, that's like your main advantage. It's like people don't know how to play against you. Most people don't know a lot of whatever ex popular champion or champions they play versus Yorick. It's really difficult. So pretty much I'm in a situation where I can't really walk up, I believe. I mean, you see Diana bought, but yeah, I don't know. Like I'm in a situation where I don't really have damage, I believe. But he forces a trade really horribly. Like it's like I was trying to grab EXP range or stay in EXP range, but I don't know. Like if he fights in my wave, then it's free, and if he just like misses, I mean he can't all in me because I have too much armor, so I'm suppressing his idea of trying to pretty much all in me so one way. But then I get ganked right here, and I don't flash because I am dumb. Honestly, the thought process was I thought I could kill aatrox. I kind of got baited, but I mean he's just gonna lifesteal off of me, and I mean the Yone hit his R. I thought I could dodge it, and I don't know if I just flash. I mean I don't think I had to flash the R to survive, but if I flashed, away, I mean, nothing could happen, and then it'll just be like it would be a situation where he has to go back to mid, or like he can't re-dive me or anything, and I'm in a situation where I probably could 1v2, but even then I'm in a really good spot to be able to do what I need to do in this game, which is heavy split push and just be a nuisance. Aatrox is so weak when it comes to wave player and dealing with yorick schools, because he has to use his core ability. So he's always in a situation where he can never deal with your ghouls if he's fighting you. Like right here, I don't know, he trades like I don't know, like he's trolling when he trades like that. There's no way he can, like, I don't know, he's just aggro trolling or aggro fighting in situations where he shouldn't fight. But honestly, I kind of do understand, because he's like in a suppressed situation where he probably wants kill pressure, but he's not doing it the right way, or he just can't do it at all because I have too much armor. So I have 4 seconds. I hold my Q, revive. I E. He always looks to ease into me. I don't know why he ease into me. I look for the opportunity after the E, and then, yeah, pretty much. I mean, he tries to trade because he wants a lifesteal, but I just cut it out because I have too much armor. And then you saw right there, he flashes away, but my E, the exclamation mark, I think it lasts 4 seconds, is still on him. So if you flash away, it's still gonna hop on you. So it did a double hop in that situation, which is a lot of people don't know. Like, it'll stick onto you. But right here, I make sure I Q, so the minions, not the minions, my ghouls don't die to tower, and they keep with me. And also this means less tower shots to the ghouls, which are useless, more tower shots to the minions, which means you lose more EXP, and I'm able to back with extra ghouls to so you don't have to prep them, you know. Yeah, so yeah, this Kane is kind of not doing so great. This game, Zeri's super fed, but also Kai'Sa's fed. I don't know how that situation occurred, but it is what it is. I'm not really paying attention to the other part of that, but see how he's just, I don't know, he tries to hit stuff, he tries to E4. I mean, you're going to get punished every time you E4, because I'm just going to cage you, and then I look for lethal. Like, I don't know, the way he's playing is very, very, very bad. Aatrox usually tries to look for the E forward on Q1 or Q2, but in reality, you can't really do that. I mean, he kind of has to be on the defensive mode now, like how I was defensively playing from like levels 1 to 5, or he needs to Q in or he needs to eat in a situation defensively where I play aggressive and then he Qs out. So yeah, this Diana's up here. I believe. Oh yeah. So yeah, this one thing is just like sometimes you're in situations where you kind of have to fight, because the way your ghoul and you work, if you really think about it, you have 1 damage ability, and that's your Q. Your E is to interact with ghouls. Let me let this play. So yeah, pretty much I don't die right here. He ignites, whatever. I mean, this guy actually ends up trading 1 for him, but like, yeah, pretty much all you have is an auto tech reset. That does quite a bit of damage. It does do damage, don't get me wrong. It does damage, but all you have is an auto tech reset and a cage. You don't really have damage. Your R is your main source of damage and your passive, but also your ghouls are very squishy and they don't like. What also does a lot of damage is your passive on your R, where it marks them and does percentage magic help damage. So you're like in situations where you want to protect your ghoul and your maiden, and your maiden wants to protect you. So that's kind of like, you're better off being alone from your maiden, but you're stronger together. So if that makes any like sense. So yeah, I mean, I don't back. I was pretty low, but I mean, Yorick has a lot of sustain if you just free hit. Even more if you go precision, with lifesteal, but it did get a little nerfed, so it's kind of iffy. Sometimes also, instead of overgrowth, you can go healing increase. I think it's very good only if you plan on definitely going for a Sunder. If they're really tanky, I think Sunder games, I think it's okay to go the healing one. And then also paired with Spirit Visage is very good. You might think it's not like insane healing, but it like the Spirit Visage the Spirit Visage combo is very good. I think it's very good against tanks and like also against certain magic damage dealers where like their main thing is to like burst you. That's like range kind of like sometimes like it's better to go force of nature, but if they're like a Gwen for example, the Spirit Visage build with Sunder is good, but against like a Kali, the force of nature Trinity is probably better. You know what I'm saying? Stay like a magic null or stay on a Netherchunk cloak. You can sit on a Netherchunk first item, and then you can go your typical build, your Triforce. So yeah, I'm like he's just trying to push the wave and he's trying to fight, but now he knows he can't fight, and I'm just perma freeze on him. I have enough armor to tank. He walks up, he gets hit by the E, and I mean I can't really commit. See how he Qs him, and he can't even deal with the ghouls on the Q because if you don't know, both your R and Q, or R on minions on ghouls, they take only 25% damage from AoE attacks. It's very important to know. So against like most of the time, like this is like the reason why mages they really can't deal with you. Like the way you want to itemize against like resistance is usually against the one who's split pushing against you, which is usually top laner. If they have like, I mean, some obviously split pushers, they're mages like Gwen and stuff, they can obviously deal with you, but like actual like real mages, most mages can't really deal with you except like Syndra a little bit. Syndra can outplay by like doubling your R and shit like that, but I don't know, I'm talking like other game sense, and that's just other situations that you kind of need to know. It's like you suppressed. Usually you're in a situation like this, like when you get off of lane phase, you're super oppressive where you suppress the enemy top laner stay in lane. And if they're a top laner that wants to group, it's very, very good. You're always in advantage because you're always in advantage by pushing. You're always in threat to take objectives. And you force the enemy top laner to not be in the same win condition as he would usually play. That's why I would say Yorick is super good. Oh yeah, right here, I trapped on, like, I don't know. Your W does block dashes, if you time it correctly. But going to the other point, like, yeah, Yorick's worst matchups, I would say, are against, like, other hyper split pushers. Like, Fiora is really bad. But it's okay. It's, like, kind of playable, but it is really bad. I really is really, really bad, but it is slightly outplayable. Like, it's really bad, but it is outplayable. It is slightly outplayable. It's kind of like how you want to play this aatrox matchup, but it's even a lot worse when it comes to getting killed pressured and like, yeah. But most of them, they don't really. I don't know. Their builds are kind of bad, and I really got nerfed with the patch. So maybe it's not too bad, but yeah. So, and like Vayne is kind of bad matchup. Just any like real split pushers Jax is really bad. I think when you first as Jax, I don't think you should go a Sheen build. I think you should go the Eclipse build.
Maybe one day I'll show a game of the Eclipse build, but I think against champions where you can't auto attack them. So like range, like super hard to deal with range champions like Akshan, uh, champs like that. I think Eclipse is very, very actually pretty good. Very underrated item, for sure. Vayne, of course, but yeah, I don't know. Like this game right here, oh yeah, I'm like in invincible state. Like there's literally, I just need to play the most calculated as possible, and there's no way they can deal with me. And I don't know, I'm always drawing, so like hard pressure. It's like when you have Maiden, it's like it's like playing against someone who has fucking Rift Herald and it's coming top, and you need to send like hella people like right here. This I don't know. Like I don't think it is unplayable, but it might have been. I think my W was fine. Like, and I could have maybe dodged better, but I don't know. Like I don't know. This situation is like maybe I could have ran right there instead of walking back, but like I don't know, man. But like it doesn't matter because like I had a bounty, but they get the tower. I think that is slightly okay because I don't know. They shared that tier two. Tier two is like 600 gold, 550 shared, and 50 gold global. I don't know. When you share with four people, it is kind of bad, but I don't know. And then this situation right here, I literally ping my team to back, and they eagle fight 4v5. You can ping them as many times as they want, but they're just staying. They literally don't want to run. They just like they are running, but they don't want to run fully for some dumbass reason. I don't know. It is the most stupidest shit ever. So I don't even try to TP because fuck that shit. I don't even have R or nothing. Like I'm not trying to fight that at all. Like if you fight that and TP to that, you probably would lose so much tempo right there. You would lose astronomical amounts of tempo, and your lead would be given, and they would probably try to Baron. But since I'm up, I mean I can stop it because it's still a little early in the game, so the death timers are up, and I don't know. I can stop it. Like it's not too bad. So, but I do it instead because I'm a slightly big genius. So one of the most important things is Yorick and Solo Baron will pretty much any item build. You don't need like a lifesteal build or anything. As long as you have items and you're on pace of the game, whatever it is, like you're fine. The only thing you need to know is make sure you're tanking. Don't let your minions tank for you, especially your maiden, and make sure you sweep and make sure you do it early. You usually want to be in situations when you do Baron solo is where like Baron's not the main focus of the game. So like early 20 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Cuz like you want to do it in a situation where they're doing dragon. Pretty much is the goal, kinda is the goal. Like they're making a play for dragon or setting no dragon. You're ready, and you buy a pink ward or sweeper and just ready to do Baron. Make sure you have four though. You need four ghouls for sure. But yeah, you don't want like your top laner to be like they're like kind of farming top while you do it. I mean you can, but he would have to be super pushed in under his like tier two. It's like you gotta know when the situation, but pretty much when people are distracted, doing dragon, and maybe your top roams top or like it's super pushed back under his tower, then it's possible. Most people don't know Yuri can solo Baron, and most people don't check. Most of the time, I don't know what the enemy thinks, but they probably think you're grouping or like you're expect, so they don't know, but I don't know. But yeah, pretty much I have Baron, like, I mean, I have Hullbreaker with super minions, or Hullbreaker with a cannon minion that's Baron is OP. Um, it is actually disgusting. And my R is disgusting also, but I'm going against the Yon, and Yon cuts through my Maiden. I mean, I have 0 resistance on Maiden. It always sticks at 0 armor, and I mean, champions like Yasuo, Fiora, Aurelia, Yone, they can deal with Maiden real well because they all have single target and really good like single target damage. I'll be able to push right here because they went mid. So yeah, they're pretty much just like it's over. Like this guy can't match me. No one can match me. They're distracted. They think they need to go this way, or that way. It's actually very simple. But strategic gameplay is not like you have to like do anything crazy. I don't know. And it's like series like 7-1 right here, almost 4 items. So it's not like this game is super winnable. Like Zeri can definitely pop off and like kind of right here. But at the end of the day, I mean, you got to deal with me, and I'm 2-2. Yeah, I'm 2-2, but very, very, very strong. Playing very resource heavy because your champion scales super well with levels. One of the best level scalers in the game, in my opinion, when it comes to base stats, and your skill stats per level are pretty good too. I would say, I mean, maybe not so much your E. So maybe I don't know. Your Q is really good when you level it up. Your W is really good, but your E leveling is kind of 1.1 wonder. Yeah, it is a little bit. I mean, just a little bit, but it's still. If you go to Eclipse build, it's still good to max it. Yeah, I mean some matchups also you do want to max W. Most notably against like Chenemir is very good. Just matchups where you want to use your W defensively and you want it up more often defensively, or you just die. So like Chenemir, I think Fiora's one of them. Just matchups, even if you max Q, you just don't win trades, and it's just like you need W to like defensively defend you. You would max W, by the way, and then you max E first. If you were to max Q, but you're going at Eclipse build, if that makes sense. So even with Eclipse build, you would max W if like it was a hard matchup, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like playing safe, playing for top, polling people while they're doing dragon, and it's textbook gameplay. It's literally they're suppressed in a situation where they're not able to do nothing, and they're trying to force, but I mean, no one's gonna stop me, and it's pretty much GG right here, because they're gonna fight, and no one really can stop me. If they have to send at least 2, and if they send 2, they just lose. I mean, they can't even send Zeri 2, so it would be Zeri and 2 peelers or something, and they're not gonna win this. Yeah, my minions do so much damage, and it's over. So, yeah, thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah.